First, Okenyuri was born in Kenya, a very remote village in Bomachoge Borabu constituency in Kisii County. I was born to the late Henry Anyeni Okech and my mother Lydia. I lost my father in 2006, a week after I had joined my Form 1. So I went to primary school in Kenya, did my KCPE examinations in Taranganya Primary School, where I did well, earning a placement at the Kenya High School. Then later, after Kenya High School, I went to Masai Mara University. After Masai Mara University, where I undertook a Bachelor of Science in Information Sciences. And really, when you look at my leadership journey began from primary. In primary school level, I served as a bell ringer. And I got that position, I think, because I was very keen on time, and I think you've seen even that today. So I served as a bell ringer, I think, for six years. In high school, I served as a class representative and a house official. In the Kenya High School, with the dormitories, we call them houses. So I was a house official. I was in Naivasha House. So after I left Kenya High School, I came to Masai Mara pursuing a Bachelor's of Science in Information Sciences. I served as a class of Information Sciences official for 2 years. Then I ran for student leadership, where I was elected as the first female vice president of the Student Union. After my graduation, I joined, like any other young person, I was out here for quite some time, but later I was successfully employed by Safaricom. I was working as a customer experience executive. I worked there briefly, resigning to do what I think my passion was, that was leadership and on the political side. So when I came out here, that was in 2017.
You joined in 2017?
Yes. And I had graduated in 2015 December. So when I came out here, that was I used to attend these political rallies, and we had done so many other community initiatives through a community-based organization we had by the name Kisii Youth Alliance. That's how I got to familiarize myself with many other leaders at the county then. So I like I said, I used to attend political rallies, and in those rallies, young people would demand that I speak on their behalf. So in one rally, I used to go to many, but I think that one is quite left an impression of where I am now. It was during the re-election campaign of President Uhuru Kenyatta then, and we had gone for a political rally. It was actually the last campaign rally. Then young people were demanding, like I've always done, represented them anyway, both politically and these other small community initiatives we were undertaking. So it's at that point that William Ruto noted my capability and told me, Essy, I think we can work together. And the rest, the rest is history. Now in 2017, the rally was in a place called Nyaituga Stadium. Nyaituga Stadium is in Nyaribari Richache constituency. In that forum, I had requested that the uwanja where we were seated on be uplifted to the status of, a good stadium that people in that area can appreciate, because most people in that area use that stadium a lot. That was one thing. And the other thing I noted, I recognized the contribution that the first lady and second ladies were making towards women and young people like I, who was speaking in that forum. and you realize leadership, you give directions, but you give direction, people will follow you when you're speaking their language. You see, I was speaking these people's language, and as a result, the Deputy President then, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, saw my capability. So in 2017, life has moved on. I didn't get anything, but my name was on the Jubilee nomination list for the county MCA, member of county assembly. I hadn't contested. I was purely supporting the Jubilee then under the youth umbrella. So because I was in the village, I had not come to Nairobi, someone was able to shortchange my name even after it had appeared on the 2 gazette notices that were printed. So I went to court. I went to lower court, high court, court of appeal, and I thought the exercise was futile because I lost in that appeal. Because I was challenging someone who had actually committed that on my side. I felt, I was a bit disadvantaged. So in that process, the deputy president, after learning, because he didn't know my name then, he used to describe me as the lady with Kalonzo hairstyle. So he didn't know my name, but he knew my hairstyle. So even I think he was trying to look for my contacts. And I did not expect him to know me because I was a nobody, really. He knew other big people. So he actually now gave me placement in his office. He told me, Essy, now where are you these days? Actually, I was very happy to get that opportunity. I came to Harambee Annex, where I served as an assistant director research in the strategy and delivery unit, where my boss then was Dr. John Chikati, the current Tongaren MP. And we did immense work on the TVET sector of keen interest to the Deputy President then, Dr. William Ruto, was the TVET. Because that was in line with Jubilee's agenda of equipping young people with skills and having a technical training institute at least in every constituency. In that office, I had an opportunity to give service in that manner and also interact with the different members of parliament of different constituencies, because they would come here. We were not the implementing bodies, but we were working with the line ministry, that was the State Department of Vocational Education and Training, to support their follow-ups, because in Annex, the Deputy President then was the chair of the donor round table. So some of these donors had interest on TVET. So that was my professional work at Annex. The Senate exists to make devolution work, and not just for the Senate. This country has to ensure devolution works, because like I said, the essence of devolution was to get services closer to the people, ordinary people who are not able to access some of the services that are accessible to a small privileged number. So first, I think on the relationship between governors and members of county assembly, that's the relationship between the executive and the county assembly. Largely, when I look at it, is people not understanding their roles. You see, like the county, when you look at the PFM Act, speaks clearly on some of those roles and responsibilities, what is meant to be done, like the county assembly has a very strong mandate of vetting who becomes the county minister. But you hear the same MCAs will say, oh, this guy, the moment we gave him a job, we are not able to summon him, really. They're the same people who have vetted these people and given them a ticket to being a county CEC. Then they also need to understand that there are ways of summoning such a minister, because then if these people have not performed as to what they are meant to be doing, at that point you can summon them. If an MCA does not understand that they have that power, how would you then summon such a person? You've not requested for their performance, so they'll reluctantly sit and say they're not coming. Governors, on the other hand, I think also might not understand that clearly they need to work with these county assemblies in approving their budgets, which are very critical. You know, MCAs will legislate and do such kind of activities. Then the executive needs to implement. You know, all these two arms are serving ordinary people. And when all of you are serving ordinary people and you're disagreeing, don't you see you're disadvantaging the people who put you in those positions? So misunderstanding between the roles and responsibilities of the executive and the county assembly is one big issue I've observed, even not because of the impeachment committee, but even out there. And people clearly saying we will be having more impeachments. You know, it shouldn't be very easy to impeach a governor than it is to impeach an MCA. So I think orientation for these two is a very critical thing that we need to have, so that people understand the mandate they have. But the best way of dealing with this, even in getting spaces, don't go out there fighting and saying it's because I'm a woman. The moment you start using that one, it's difficult for you to convince people. Then people will always use that one against you. You know, like in Bunge, you don't say you're a woman, you're a honorable member. All of us are members in this space. To start what is weak, you're already wounded before you begin. We are not competing because we are women, not because we are youth. We are competing because we have leadership and service to offer to this country. See? But that having been said, we face a few challenges, because some of these spaces have been dominated by people with a financial muscle, veterans, and surely maybe hadn't the UDA party given me this chance, I would never seen the floors of that house. So we face challenges because then as a young person, you have no financial capacity. You just, you know, like me, I say, I'm a true example of the bottom-up philosophy that Kenya Kwanza was talking about. Because really, I didn't know anyone. Like William Ruto, he met me in those political rallies. I didn't know, I wouldn't say that I was introduced by someone. Things don't just happen. You have to have a plan, like this is what I want to do. These are the people I need to interact with. The right mentors, the right people, that's what I mean. And this is where I want to be. I had already identified way back, I wanted to serve people. And you see in all the roles I was being given, I never used to ask for those roles. I was given those roles as a result of demand from people. So when you identify what you want to do and you're relating with the right people, somehow it just works for you. No matter the obstacles, I'm a very resilient person. I do not give up easily. You see, when I lost in Jubilee, then I should have left and said, if then these guys cannot consider me. But I thought my ambitions have been, you know, postponed. There will come another time. As you said, my brother, I think this was that time. So when the timing is right in politics, timing is very important. When the timing is right, the things happen. So for women and young people, I still do not want to say like we are weak, because the men, we have to coexist with the men. They are part of our existence. And do you know, like me, most of them from where I come from really support me. So that's a plus. When you take it that way, like it's not a war against men, you will surely make it. We have now a good number of women who are leading single constituencies as members of parliament. And that's the direction we would want to go.